Hey, what's up everybody? Jake here and welcome to the hobby. In today's video, we are talking about the news of Mega Pokemon cards making a return and the impact it's having on prior Mega Evolution Pokemon cards like this Mega Rayquaza EX. We are seeing massive price climbs in graded copies of it, and there are not many copies of this card out there. So with so few graded copies, it doesn't take much to make large waves in the prices on some of these cards. If you haven't heard, Mega Pokemon cards are making return. Here we've been teased two new Pokemon, which includes the Mega Lucario EX as well as the Mega Gardevoir EX, two fan favorite Pokemon. I don't know if they're going to release new additional types of Mega Pokemon. That would be the dream scenario. I think a lot of people have been dreaming of a bunch of really cool Mega Evolutions for a bunch of Pokemon that do not have Mega Evolution. So that'd be something really cool to see. So far from the animation or the art of these two cards, they look okay. They look all right. They're just missing a lot of like the oomph that older cards have. Here we got ourselves the Mega Rayquaza EX, and you can see how just incredibly well designed it is. We got ourselves Mega Rayquaza. There's this awesome Japanese text on the card. There's so much energy in the card. There's so much vibrance. It looks like it's powering up Dragon Ball style, and I am absolutely here for it. Super cool card. If you like to understand what this text says, it just says the attack, Dragon's Ascent in Japanese. The Japanese version of these cards have the attacks spelled out in English. So it's a little bit gimmicky, but it's a really cool card, and I'm really here for the XY era Mega Evolution cards. They look super, super cool. Awesome series of cards, and with the news that Mega Evolution Pokemon cards are making a return, we are seeing a lot of speculation on the open market. You can see graded copies of this Mega Rayquaza EX we're going for as low as $158, and now it's going for upwards of $700 in a PSA 10, and that's mainly because there are so few PSA 10 copies of these cards that it doesn't take much for the prices to climb, because you have to find someone that's willing to sell these cards, and these cards are no longer being graded, right? It's incredibly hard to find graded copies of this card. So the raw market is still climbing rapidly as well, but not on the same level as the graded market, because people want their cards in pristine condition. And it's incredibly hard to find any of these cards in pristine condition. Before we do a deeper dive onto a bunch of other Mega Evolution Pokemon cards, I would like to thank Misprint.com for sponsoring today's video. If you haven't heard, Misprint.com is a live two-sided marketplace for graded Pokemon cards as well as sealed product. What that means is that I can buy anything on Misprint.com immediately and sell stuff on Misprint.com immediately. If I would like to buy an Evolving Skies booster box, I can buy one immediately at $1,300, and I know that there is someone that's willing to buy it from me immediately at $900. And the more people that signs up to Misprint.com, the tighter the ranges on some of these products are going to be. If you would like to buy an Evolving Skies booster box for $1,000, you can sign up to Misprint.com and put your buy listing price, and perhaps someone will sell you an Evolving Skies booster box if you are willing to put your bid out there. So it's incredibly easy to buy and sell Pokemon cards using Misprint. As well, right now they are currently doing their 5% store credit special, where for every single purchase that you make, you'll get back 5% in store credit. That means if you spend $100, you get $5 off. If you spend $1,000 on something like an Evolving Skies booster box, you get yourself $50 back. They are also doing their mispriced Pokemon card special, where there are a ton of super cool Pokemon cards that are being mispriced at way lower prices than they normally would be. Here we got ourselves the Rainbow Rare Charizard VMAX, and it's just going for $5. Check out Misprint.com today. I highly recommend you check them out. Sign up to be both a seller and a buyer on Misprint.com, because the more of us band together, the better the service becomes. This service only really works if we have a ton of people signing up for it. Misprint.com is run by a friend of the channel, which is Ava's Binder. I've been using them for quite a bit, and I absolutely love their service. I think it's a super cool service, and I do believe they're onto something that can absolutely revolutionize the way that you and I buy and sell Pokemon cards in the future. Definitely check them out. They are a super cool service. Beyond having the ability to buy and sell Pokemon cards, they also have a ton of really cool market analysis on these cards where you can see graded Pokemon cards prices, their population reports, as well as recent sale. It's just an incredible service overall. Check them out and let them know that Jake sent you today. Now let's get back to some Mega Pokemon cards that are making big waves in the hobby. The next one that we can look at beyond the rampant increase of this Mega Rayquaza EX, because this one's absolutely wild. We got ourselves the Mega Charizard EX, another really cool card. Same thing with the text. This just says Wild Blaze on it. Prices on these cards have been climbing rapidly over the past couple of months, and that's mainly because the news or the speculation that Mega Pokemon cards are making a return actually has been known for quite a few months. However, you can also see the immediate price climbs on some of these cards during the news breaking over the last couple of days. You can see prices on the Mega Charizard EX used to be $300, now going for upwards of $700. Same with this super cool Mega Gengar EX. I mean, these cards look like an absolute roller coaster going up in terms of price. The Mega Gengar EX, super cool, iconic design. I know a lot of people love the Mega Evolution design, especially I know the shiny version of the Mega Gengar EX is like super cool. People love that card as well. You can see the price climbs on it during the time that the Pokemon news broke that the Mega Evolutions are making a return. Bunch of really cool cards. The Mega Gyarados, again, like just incredible price climbs over the past couple months. Wild prices. This is another really cool card, and the struggle with these cards is that they are incredibly hard to find in pristine condition, because if you want a PSA 10 copy of this card, or God forbid a CGC 10 or a Tag 10, if those even exist, you have to pretty much buy it off someone else. You have to buy it from another collector, because the odds of you finding one of these cards in mint condition raw is impossible. It's close to 0%. So the only way you can get a Gem Mint copy of this card is to buy a graded Gem Mint copy, and those are so incredibly hard to find. You have to find a collector that has one and is willing to sell one, and those are hard to find. Finding a collector with one of these cards is hard enough. Finding a collector willing to sell one of these cards is nigh impossible. The Mega Charizard EX is actually one of the more interesting ones, because this card is actually one of the most heavily graded card, because Charizard is incredibly popular, and because of that, there's actually quite a few PSA 10 Charizards out there. And you can see the price climbs on some of these cards, going for as low as $100 just a couple of months ago, now upwards of $300. We've been seeing a lot of price climbs for modern illustration rares, but here we are seeing an immediate impact on XY era Mega Evolution Pokemon cards, mainly due to the return of Mega Evolution. Mega Gardevoir EX, another super cool card, very hard to find in a PSA 10. So a lot of these cards, which used to be $100 to $200 for any copies of these in a PSA 10, have now gone for $400, $500, $600, and the prices on these I think are actually going to continue to climb. So I normally do videos after events has occurred, and obviously a lot of these cards have climbed in value, but in my general prediction, I do think that this is just the tip of the iceberg. I do think that with the Mega Evolutions actually being revealed over the next couple of months, especially as more and more cards are revealed, especially we see a lot of really cool Mega Evolutions illustration rares start coming out. If that does occur, then I think these cards' prices can absolutely go through the roof, because there are so few graded copies of them out there. If you don't have them inside of your collection, this probably doesn't really impact you, but I think it's still a really interesting story to just follow as a collector, so I can gain a lot of insight onto what occurs in the hobby. A lot of these cards, I can tell you right now, I do not have a graded copies of these cards in a PSA 10. I'm just not an XY era collector, but I find this story super interesting, and I will be following it as we find out more information on future Mega Evolution cards. I do think that's going to have a major impact on these cards. So like I said, I normally talk about cards after they've climbed in value, but in today's video, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. A lot of those Mega Evolution cards I think are going to spike even harder in the coming months. as more and more cards get revealed from the Mega Evolution set. In terms of booster box prices, I still want to talk about booster boxes because I know sealed products are so hard to find right now. The hardest packs to find are definitely things like Surging Sparks, incredibly hard to find, and everyone wants Surging Sparks. Other booster box prices are starting to get closer and closer to $200 a box. One of the final bastion for sealed products was Scarlet and Violet base set, which used to be as low as $100 a box. I mean, just as early as November, December, which was during Black Friday last year. November and December was not that long ago, guys. That was literally 3 or 4 months ago. Prices on booster boxes were going for right around $90 to $100 for Scarlet and Violet base. I was picking this booster box up for as low as $90 to $100 from a ton of conventions. Now, these booster boxes are going for close to $200, especially for Scarlet and Violet base. And the reason for this set climbing so rapidly is because the Drowsy that has been making waves in the hobby is inside of this set. So the reason Scarlet and Violet base booster boxes, which everyone thought was garbage just a couple of months ago, is now a hot commodity is due to the illustration rare spiking inside of this set. I noticed it myself over this past weekend because I was selling a bunch of booster packs at market price or retail price. I was selling Scarlet and Violet booster packs for $4 a pack, and we sold so many listings to viewers just like you. We sold over 100 listings, pretty much every single booster pack I had for sale because I had everything priced at the lowest price on Collector. Whatever the price of a booster pack was on Collector, I would have those booster packs that I had listed for sale at the exact same price or lower. So for Scarlet and Violet base, we had booster packs listed for $4 a pack, and we sold out so quickly. I had over 100 orders for just booster pack sales, and we sold out of pretty much every single booster pack I had. Anything I listed for sale was sold out within days. Over days, we sold every single Scarlet and Violet booster pack. We sold every booster pack Paradox Rift, Silver Tempest. We're out of stock on Temporal Forces. I'm out of stock on Lost Origin, and I'm just a normal collector, guys. I don't have like tons of booster boxes of these available. I'm just selling a couple booster packs here or there, and 100 orders, we sold out of everything pretty much, which is absolutely wild. I'm currently working on another show. I would like to do 500 booster packs for sale at $1 listing prices. And I'm currently working on that. I would like to do 1,000 booster packs at $1 a pack, but I can't do that right now because that's a ton of orders, and I don't know if I have 1,000 booster packs to even sell. So I think I can do 500 for sure because I absolutely can probably do 500 booster packs. But I want to do 1,000 because it's just a larger, rounder number, and I would love to do 1,000 booster packs at $1 listing, but we're not quite there yet. I'm working on that show for you guys, so I'm going to be really excited for when it does occur. I have to find some sponsors that are willing to actually go through with the kind of pain that is, and obviously I ship all those packs myself. So it'll be interesting to see where things go. I do think we are going to reach $200 minimum for pretty much any booster pack. There's a couple of Last Bastion. We got ourselves Paradox Rift. We got ourselves Temporal Forces. And a lot of people think these sets are not that good. There are a bunch of really cool cards inside of Paradox Rift and Temporal Forces. It's just going to be dependent on if those cards appreciate in value the same way that Scarlet and Violet base did, right? Because no one expected Scarlet and Violet base to really climb in value until a lot of the cards inside of the set climbed. And Temporal Forces, which is the last available set on the Pokemon Center, is not even that bad of a set. It's not a bad set. I don't think anyone can call Temporal Forces a bad set. There are a bunch of really cool cards inside of the set, and they are appreciating value. It's just going to be dependent on whether people recognize that in the future or not. We got ourselves the Ghastly illustration rare, the Raging Bolt illustration rare, the Saul Bucks and Deerling duo. These two cards are absolutely brilliant. They're kind of backwards on collector, if you flip these two cards, they would look better, but still a bunch of really cool illustration rares and special illustration rares inside of this set. We got ourselves the Lickitung. Oh my god, that's absolutely ridiculous. But all these sets like Paradox Rift, Temporal Forces, they do have cool illustration rares inside of this set. Like, I remember when this Metagross used to be like an $8 illustration rare. I picked it up for $8 at a convention a couple of months ago because I just thought it was a super cool illustration rare, and now it's $36. And Temporal Forces booster boxes haven't really changed that much in prices. So if you're someone out there and you're struggling to collect sealed products, I would say pick up singles, because there's just a bunch of really cool singles that are available that are at much more reasonable price. So that's my recommendation, is that if you can't find sealed products and you find $200 a booster box to be really, really discouraging, then I would pick up the singles, because the singles are going to make much more rational sense than picking up sealed products. Like here we have an example. We got ourselves the Lugia V alternate art card, right? Silver Tempest booster boxes are going for close to $300 a booster box. At a certain point, you might as well just pick up the Lugia V as a single rather than ripping open a Silver Tempest booster box. I would say a Silver Tempest booster box is not a reasonable product for you to crack open right now because it's not really affordable. But if you are planning to pick up a Silver Tempest booster box anyway, then just pick up the Lugia V alt art as a single, because that's going to be your big hitter inside of your Silver Tempest booster box. So why rip a booster box trying to find the Lugia V when you can just pick it up from the secondary market at a significantly more affordable price? Same kind of scenario with this Twilight Masquerade Eevee, right? If you spend $80, you can probably pick up yourself a dozen Twilight Masquerade booster packs. Are you really going to rip open a dozen Twilight Masquerade booster packs looking for this Eevee? Or would you rather just pick up the Eevee anyway as your hitter for those 12 booster packs? I would say the Eevee by itself is a better option, even at these exorbitant prices, because of how expensive sealed products is currently at. So that's it for today's video. We are pretty much just talking about the crazy expensive prices on Mega Evolution Pokemon cards. And this is just my prediction, but I do think this is just the tip of the iceberg. I do think a lot of these cards are going to go way more expensive than this. And I do not own these cards inside of my collection. Well, I might be able to find an XY binder somewhere inside of my closet with some of these cards, but I don't really collect Mega Evolution Pokemon cards, so I have none of these cards in a PSA 10 or graded at all. And thank you again to Misprint for sponsoring today's video. Definitely check them out. Sign up to be a buyer and seller on misprint.com, because the more of us band together and build up this marketplace, the better of a service it will be for both you and I. I actually have a ton of Pokemon cards and sealed products listed on Misprint right now, so if you purchase something from Misprint, you might be buying it from me directly. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.